Why do most people never become the strongest version of themselves? They chase approval, react to criticism, try to be liked. But what if strength isn't built from seeking validation, but from harnessing power, quietly, relentlessly, strategically? Ask yourself, when was the last time you accepted a compliment without shrinking? When did you stop molding yourself to others' expectations and started sculpting your own character? Drop that moment in the comments now, because your story can light the path for others. Welcome to King Code, where power isn't won by noise, but by presence. Today, we're walking a relentless path inspired by Machiavellian wisdom. This is not motivational fluff. This is real. Use it or stay weak. Let me take you to Florence, early 16th century. Niccolo Machiavelli the Prince, not about kindness, but about control. Not about comfort, but about clarity. He described rulers who rose because they understood fear, reputation, timing. One nobleman held his tongue even at betrayal. When asked why he didn't retaliate, he replied, "I needed to let his anger reveal his weakness." By saying nothing, he shifted the power. That silence echoed as strength. Think of your life. When provoked, do you react or do you observe? Do you control your response, or does the reaction reveal who's actually in control? Share in the comments. Where has silence given you the upper hand? Now let's walk into a modern boardroom. A rising executive gets undercut publicly by a colleague. Most would argue fight back, defend, but the Machiavellian choice? Calm composure, a soft smile. Later in private, he dismantled that colleague's reputation through quiet competence. The loudest voice doesn't win boardrooms, steadiness does. What's one time you held back your defense and gained more control? Drop it below. Your moment of restraint may inspire others to master their own. At the core of strength is self-sufficiency. Machiavelli taught that rulers should trust their armies, not allies. In life, that means relying on your discipline, your habits, your values, not others' approval. I once met a man who trained before dawn alone. No applause, no social media. Months later, he transformed. Not because anyone noticed, but because he noticed himself. That's self-governance. Comment with your quiet routines. Those small rituals most no one sees, but that shape your backbone. Reputation is built in whispers. Machiavelli knew fear is rooted in unpredictability. One ruler showed compassion one day, strictness the next. His people feared his next move. That tension maintained control. In your life, one day over-delivering, the next day disappearing. When people expect you, don't show up. When they're used to pushing, you push back. That's leverage. Who are you? The predictable or the sharp edge and shadow? Reflect in the comments. Let me take you to a battlefield story. A general waited to strike until rain made the ground muddy. His army stayed dry, organized. The enemy floundered. It wasn't strategy alone. It was patience, timing, using conditions to own the field. In your life, the mud is chaos. Don't wade in. Wait for clarity. Then act. Write down a moment when you waited and won. Share it. Your patience is a lesson. Now consider alliances. Machiavelli wrote, "Never depend on allies. Build your own support." One leader refused favors. Instead, he built a network of silent debt, people indebted without knowing. Today, you don't need followers. You need mutual respect, earned through deeds. Who has silently owed you their loyalty? Recognize them and leave them a silent margin of gratitude. Comment, who's quietly in your corner, and where will you pay that forward? Strength isn't noise, it's resilience. Let me tell you about a marathon runner who fell 20 miles in. He stood up, limped, and finished. He didn't rage, he endured. And that endurance, that whispered fortitude inspired the crowd to run with him across the finish. Strength draws people, like gravity, quiet but unrelenting. Share your toughest setback and how you survived. Your endurance is power. In business, one entrepreneur turned failure into brand. He publicly embraced his failed startup and framed it as a lesson in audacity. That framed ownership. People rallied behind his authenticity. He didn't ask for sympathy. He claimed his weakness, turned it into his anchor. That is mastery. What failure have you reframed as strength? Let us know below. It may give someone else permission to stand again. Now, a modern legend, a tech CEO nearly went bankrupt, but instead of begging for funds, he pitched quietly with confidence. Investors came to him, not the other way around, because he wasn't chasing. He was composed power. He didn't scramble. He elevated. Reflect, where are you chasing when you should be elevating? Type in. And now, before we close, Ask yourself, who are you becoming? Weak or the strongest version of yourself? Don't just answer, embody it. If this resonates, hit like. Subscribe to King Code to deepen your power journey. Share this with someone who needs to stop reacting and start ruling. Turn on notifications because your throne isn't built in a day. It's built one strategic choice at a time. Close your eyes, breathe. No, strength isn't violent. It's silent. It's thoughtful. It's done.